with Gina.
The news with Gina Grad.
Lawmakers in New York City voted to cut $1 billion from the NYPD's budget and transfer that money to community development programs focusing on police reform, youth services, and support for low-income communities of color. The move has been, oddly enough, criticized by both sides, arguing to defund the police. So on one hand, protesters, including New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, says $1 billion isn't enough. While critics on the other side say the cut will breed a more violent city, which has already seen an uptick in shootings over the past week. And this just made me think of Garagos talking about divorce. Like, does that make it a perfect divorce when neither side is happy?
Yeah, he talks about his boring cop. So I think told me that's Ben. So good cop is Mark and boring cop is Ben. He said the definition, not of divorce, the definition, or possibly, but the definition of a good settlement, not a judgment, not what goes on inside a court, but it's like arbitration. You know what I mean?
Right.
Both sides are unhappy.
That's how you know you got the sweet spot.
That's right. That's a sweet spot because they both feel like, oh, come on. The one person is like, I don't want to have to pay this much. The other person is like, oh, this is all I'm getting. That's the sweet spot. Yeah. If one of them is elated and the other one is miserable, then you didn't hit it right. You got to both be miserable. But that is also the key to a good marriage. So Gina's right. They could both have to be miserable.
So Alyssa Milano in the news, and rightly so, talking about being intellectually honest and consistent. She's rejecting an accusation that she had a little blackface issue, according to CNN. The actress posted Tuesday in response to an article alleging she was facing backlash over this purported blackface scandal. Milano tweeted a photo of the headline from the conservative site LifeZette. And this is the video, just so you can see what's going on, with her response saying, "Hey, a-holes, the picture below is me parodying Jersey Shore's Snooki's tan. Snooki's tan is worthy of parody, as is Trump's tan." And we're seeing a sort of sped up shot of them getting her ready to be Snooki. Milano is outspoken in her opposition to Trump, which we all know. She tweeted days earlier about what she alleges is a smear campaign against her because of her politics. So once they get done editing this photo, they take a snapshot of her and said that she was doing blackface. But at the end, it's a Funny or Die video, and it's clearly parodying the Jersey Shore.
But if Snooki has done blackface, then this is an issue, right?
Very
because
meta. That's
she's
very
paying
meta.
homage to a person who's done blackface, right, which I find problematic.
I did not think of it that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very good point.
I don't know what year Alyssa Milano got married, but her husband had to be pretty happy about that choice 13 years ago. And now I'd like to recheck his temperature.
2009.
2009. So it's been 11 years. Yeah, a lot changed.
Do you think...
I'm marrying the hottie from Who's the Boss. This is awesome.
Do you think his response would simply be, "I wept openly"?
I wept openly. Oh God, I couldn't imagine being married to someone who was that woke and that active and just engaged. You know what I mean? Like, imagine how much engagement. Like, I think we can all kind of realize that. Well, we feel sorry for the woman who's marrying the person who's the crazy fill-in-the-blank fan or is obsessed with rotisserie baseball or fantasy football, like every waking hours on the computer doing trades or sending emails to guys in the league or whatever. Like, we all kind of go like...
That's how you win, baby.
You kind of go, I feel bad for that woman, but wow, what if your wife was just in a constant Twitter battle with somebody online? Like, I just feel like she's every waking hour something angry. Like, I don't know.
Well, I was going to say, like, woke I can do with, active I can do with, engaged, all that stuff. It's how affected she is by everything. Like she gets personally wounded by the most bizarre things.
Yeah, I agree.
But she walks the walk. She was the one sitting in the not the courtroom, but in there every day for the Chief Justice.
Kavanaugh.
My God. Thank you.
Oh, that's right, the hearings.
Yeah, and she sat right there and watched.
But that's what I'm saying. Like the husband's like, hey, you think this Saturday maybe I could get a blowjob? I'm going to be in D.C. for 11 days.
Yeah. No can do.
What, you got a job? No. I got a cardboard sign.
Oh, this is totally out of pocket.
What are you doing in D.C.? I'm just going to be sitting there watching this trial. Like, okay, but the dog needs water. How are we going to work that out? I don't know. She's getting paid, I guess. It's a business. But either way, it seems like a lot of effort. That's all.
Well, staying on the Twitter tip here, a few weeks ago, Terry Crews drew internet outrage when he tweeted about black supremacy. Now he's facing another little backlash for a tweet about Black Lives Matter. So he tweeted, if you are a child of God, you are my brother and sister. I have family of every race, creed, and ideology. We must ensure Black Lives Matter doesn't morph into Black Lives Better. So earlier this month, he wrote earlier, defeating white supremacy without white people creates black supremacy. Equality is truth. People are not down.
No one's down with anything. I say fuck everyone with their.
It's not totally unreasonable.
I'm not down with. Okay, fuck off. Like that's all we have to do now. There is no satisfying anybody. There's no more statements to be made. That it's the end. It's the end of it. Everyone's pissed. I get it. I found Terry Crews to be a very interesting guy when I interviewed him because. And maybe this is part of the problem. He was basically explaining. I think I interviewed him for Take a Knee, but
that's right.
He was sitting, 5 feet from me, and he was going, "Hey, man, you don't have to keep looking for your sort of piece of the pie, like trying to get other people's piece of the pie away from them. Like make your own pie, do your own thing." Everyone says they're trying to get their piece of the pie. They don't realize that the world is a kitchen. You can make your own pie. Okay.
That's not the President Camacho I know.
Yeah. So the movement ain't down with that kind of talk because that's just basically go out and make hay while the sun is shining and take care of yourself. That I can tell he's not down with the movement. But I like his pie talk.
Some hot pie talk. So we do have another instance of a TV show confronting an episode with blackface, but they're actually doing it differently. And by the way, the Golden Girls have removed an episode with a blackface joke where they're wearing mud masks. So everybody...
Wait.
Yeah.
Is there a context? Like, are they at a spa or are they trying
No, I think, and this is off memory because I've seen the show a time or two. I think it's the one where somebody either brings home a black family member or marries a black man and they come out in these mud masks and like, oh no, we're not doing blackface. We're doing a mud mask. Big laugh. So that's problematic, but this is and maybe Chris can find the scene. I know it's kind of everywhere right now. I've
yelled about this for a long time when people would go, I'd go, well, wait a minute. It's a joke. There's context there. There's no need. And they go, yeah, I know. It drove me nuts. I've been saying this for 20 years where people go like, I know, but you got to take it down anyway. Or I know, but they got to apologize.
Other people don't know.
I know, it's bad. It's not, but we have to. No, my whole thing is if you know, then we don't. We don't. Right. You don't have to do this. There's a context for it. But,
and talk about unearth, my God, who's looking for that old Golden Girls episode? Nobody I know, and we watch the Golden Girls. So all you're doing is highlighting this thing that you're supposed to banish into, the ether.
Yeah, like by the way, like black people watch a Golden Girls. I'd love to see what that demo is. I mean, maybe designing women because they had what's his name?
Oh yeah. What was his name? He was Hollywood and Mannequin.
Shaq Taylor or something.
Oh, Meshack Taylor.
Meshack Taylor. Oh, yeah.
I thought you were going with Delta Burke.
Like a little meat on the bone. Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Meshack. Oh, God. I'm getting old. So Meshack Taylor was the black Jim J. Bullock.
Oh, wow.
I know it's been said many times. I heard Kaylin talking about it in the hall. But If you look at who Jim J. Bullock played, you remember Brian Jim J. Bullock?
Was he the
Very
center
well.
square always on?
You
He
remember
had the show. He had Jim J and Tammy Faye.
Yeah, he's very effeminate.
Yeah, he and Meshack, they're both the same. They were a black and white version of each other. They weren't really in the main cast. They'd walk in, make a joke, and walk out again. They're both
Guest
very
star.
big and affected, tall and lanky. And what's Meshack Taylor up to?
Was Meshack in Mannequin? Was he?
Yes, he was Hollywood.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yes.
Well, Chris was looking for that. I got a really sophisticated observation you guys are going to love. What happens when Meshack beats Shaquille O'Neal? Meshack. No, Meshack.
Who's on first? Yeah.
Fucking stupid.
That's good.
Meshack died in 2014.
Oh. He couldn't have been 60.
He was 67.
67?
They have the cocktail now.
They have the what?
The cocktail now. Is an AIDS joke.
Oh, come on.
Get out of here. Back to
Meshack's my
Balboa.
muse.
So,
And Meshack is also in Kalen's cocktail party, both born April 11th.
Meshack's in Kalen's cocktail.
I want to go to Kalen's party.
It's on his birthday, and I was just making fun of him not knowing who Meshack was.
That's amazing.
Ask Kalen if he knows. Oh, he can't know Meshack.
He has no idea.
You don't know Todd Bridges. You don't know black 80s actors, my friend.
Did your dad party with Meshack, Kalen? Back in the day.
And then what about Jim J. Bullock? Is he 67 and still alive?
He's 65.
He with us?
Yes, he's still alive.
All right, good. Because
get him on
I'd want to
board.
live in a world without Meshack and Jim J.
And Gina, we found that Golden Girls clip.
Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go.
Hello, we're a little early. I'm Greta Wagner, and these are my sisters, Trudy and Libby.
I'm so sorry. The house is such a mess.
Why, it's neater than our maid ever gets ours. I'd hire you anytime. Mama, baby. How are you? I'm fine. How y'all doing? Have you met Dorothy?
No, actually, they haven't.
Not there.
They're in mud bath blackface there.
You must be Michael's parents. Mom.
All right, it's breaking up, but you get it.
Where's the? No, I get the joke. Yeah.
All right, context.
So anyway, so there is another show that's addressing this in a sort of a Gone with the Wind revamp way. It's an episode of Mad Men. It's the third season called My Old Kentucky Home, in which Roger Sterling, that's John Slattery, he appears in blackface at a party, sings to his wife, and that talk about context. It's about the 50s and 60s and showing how people acted and what was acceptable in that particular time. They're going to have a title card. They're not taking down the episode. They're going to have a title card and provide a little context. And here's what it's going to say. This episode contains disturbing images related to race in America. One of the characters is shown in blackface as part of an episode that shows how commonplace racism was in 1963. In its reliance on historical authenticity, the series producers are committed to exposing the injustices and inequities with our society that continue to do this to this day, so we can examine even the most painful parts of our history, and goes on from there. So they're going to leave it up and put up a title card. And as we know with Gone with the Wind, that is now back on HBO, and there's going to be an introduction sort of explaining that time period.
Super important. Thank God. We burn all the calories doing everything. I don't know. How about we start exploring funner parts of our history, like World's Fairs and shit? You know what I mean? Like, can we have a nice, happy balance? Does it all have to go back and go through painful history? I don't know. Like, how about one of those Elvis movies where he goes to the Space Needle? You know what I mean? Like the World's Fairs. Like, hey, it's 1921 and this guy invented an elevator. Woo! Or light bulb. Yeah.
Since yesterday, you got me very worried about Uncle Ben.
Yeah,
I'm very worried about that now. I don't want Uncle Ben's legacy to be taken away.
Yeah, I don't feel like we need to, get a super soaker and spray everyone with it. Let's be marksmen about what part of our history we're going to erase or remove. I don't think we need to do it with a shotgun. Do it with a sniper's rifle and get the right people out of there. But Jesus Christ. Travis Pastrana is going to be on the show tomorrow. That's a guy who's not fear-based. Oh, my God, is that guy not fear-based? That guy, you got to get it for tomorrow, Max Bada, but that guy, when that guy did a backflip from 10-story building to 10-story building, that was one of the hairier things I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it's one thing to do a backflip on a motorcycle in the desert, because, like, you crash, you break your collarbone and some other shit. You do a backflip rooftop to rooftop in a 10-story building, and you miss it. And by the way, if you miss it, first off, there is such a thing as mechanical error. Like, you could be going up the takeoff ramp and just have the chain bust on the motorcycle or the throttle stick or some linkage happen or something like that. Whew. It then lands on the other building.
Jesus.
Damn.
How
that's crazy.
Fucking intense is that? How pissed would you be if you were his mom? Brian, how is your mom there? How pissed would she be? He does a fucking knack upside down.
It's a double backflip.
No, it was not.
Never mind.
Yeah, I never minded you before.
I know.
I
thought
I preemptively never. I had a never mind chamber for you in case you spoke again. Double back. That's insane what he just did, right? Absolutely insane. All right, we'll talk to him. All right, let's do one more, Gina Grad.
You got it. Well, we talked about brawling. We talked about COVID. Let's combine the two, shall we? There's a video that surfaced online showing a fight at a Little Rock restaurant Saturday night. Witnesses at Saltgrass Steakhouse say it all stemmed from an argument over social distancing. A police report, and I'll show it to you in a second, a police report obtained from the Little Rock Police Department says an employee with Saltgrass Steakhouse saw the woman wearing the mask in the video tell two others that they were sitting too close to them. The employee also said the same woman was purposely coughing on other customers, the one that was sitting too close. Both the report and the witnesses
Brian, if you'd bother to watch TMZ, like the intellect you claim to be, you would have seen this already, but go ahead.
No. The man wearing the USA shirt got even closer, further escalating, kind of bumping up on everybody. That's when the boyfriend of the woman wearing the mask is seen hitting the dude with a bottle. Apparently no charges have been filed yet, but here's a clip for your viewing pleasure.
The
guy's just trying to run interference for his crazy wife. Girlfriend.
I think that's innocent bystander. Because the guy in the USA shirt.
Okay.
This is a hero in the middle.
Oh, that's what happened. Yeah.
He's just trying to de-escalate. And bottle over the head.
I like the guy who's like.
Chill.
All right. I like the guy's like, you always wear a mask indoors, but if things get hairy, you do bust a bottle over a dude's head. I like the guy's got some range. Yeah. Jesus Christ. People
are getting crazy, man.
People are getting crazy out there. And I don't know where you guys are at, but I'm always like, let's just have our meal and relax. Like, what do you want? What are we going to? Yes.
Not so fast. You saw the decree from today as we record this. Restaurants, bars, wineries, all shut down again.
Wineries, yeah.
And I was just in Temecula. We got there just in time.
You think Orange County is getting down with this?
Orange County did some stuff preemptively. So it was like if they make their own rules, they won't have to abide by the Newsom stuff. And they're kind of like, that's their way of sort of preemptively protecting themselves. I think they're shutting down beaches for 4th of July and canceling fireworks. So it doesn't, because whatever they do to themselves won't be as broad and giant as what Newsom will do. I think that's where we're at with that.
Gary, who's
Am I wrong about that?
Ambassador, unofficial ambassador to Orange County.
Right.
OC is closed down.
But go ahead.
No, Gina, you can go ahead if you like, but yeah,
go ahead.
That fell under all of Newsom's stuff from today. Orange County was one of them. All bars have to close. Inside of all restaurants are closed. Movie theaters, everything's closed for 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
And
at least.
3 weeks. And I think the beaches were what they did preemptively, if I'm not mistaken.
I'll take a picture from the beach here in Balboa tomorrow. I will guarantee it. It's funny you mentioned, Adam, the white ends of the sandwich. Mm-hmm. We left West LA yesterday or last night, which, kind of progressive. It's not Santa Monica, but, a lot of people wearing masks in the neighborhood, out walking, whatever. Got to Orange County here at Balboa Island an hour later. Lots of people downtown. I observed one person with a mask. One person. And Balboa's pretty cramped. Like, these aren't sprawling, neighborhoods. This is people on top of each other. I did see one group of 3 teenagers who had masks around their neck. They were walking to two towns, so I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, but that's where we are.
So this is turned into a club sandwich now. And the reason I'm saying our white bread club sandwich is the Balboa bread in the middle. That's the Republican Orange County no masker, who's also affluent. Then there's sort of the affluent masker, who's the West Side. And then there's the sort of Kid Rock white trash no masker. But there's 2 no maskers. It's the affluent Orange County Republican, and it's also the white trash. So Balboa's in Orange County?
Yeah, it's in Newport Beach.
Newport Beach,
but it's an island right off.
Right. All right. So maybe Balboa Island should declare that it's going to secede from California and have its own government. Yeah, have its own governing body like they did in Seattle with CHOP, and just start making its own rules. I'm telling you, real estate would go up.